Alright, so Banana Waffle Monkey is posting his story here. So there was this guy, and he was at the gas station, and he's just sold his car for gas money, right? He sold his car for gas money? So he does the only thing he knows how to do, and he takes the gas, and he lights himself on fire, right? Now the cashier at the gas station, he's been trained for this. So he opens the cash register and he starts chucking all the quarters at him. And all the customers, well, they've been taught by the American public education system's trademark what to do in a situation like this, and they stop. Drop and roll. Like they weren't even the ones on fire, though. And so finally, a policeman, he rolls up to the gas station and he looks around and he sees the guy who's lit himself on fire because he sold his car for gas money. And he sees the cashier who's chucking the quarters at him because he was trained for this. And he sees the customers who were taught to stop, drop, and roll, even though they weren't the ones on fire, because that is what the American public education system trademark taught them. And he goes up to the cashier and he says, $15 on pump 3, please. Holy crap, that is some fucked up shit, man. Subverting expectations, eh? This guy, he was at the gas station. I love that sentence. And he sold his car for gas money, right? Sold his car for gas money. That is rough. Stop, drop, and roll. I've learned that as well. What I didn't get was the quarter chucking. The cashier had been trained for this. So he opens the cash register and he starts chucking all the quarters at him. That part I did not understand. Like, I get the... And he does that as well. He does the only thing he knows how to do, and he takes the gas and he lights himself on fire. Right. So fucking weird, man. Yeah, I like the story. Punchline was the greatest. It paints a mental picture. That is what the story does. Yeah. It paints a mental picture. You see this dude sitting there and the chucking and all of them rolling around. It's like a painting with words. Yes, that is what it is. What's that type of art called? Fuck, I'm not educated in art history. Surrealism? No, that's not it. What is with the trademark, by the way? American Public Education System. That's not trademarked, is it? Not really. Hmm. Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Like, I've read short stories and stuff before, but I usually don't see them as a mental image. This is like, yeah, it's like a painting. Your story, I feel like. I mean, you describe what happens up to that very point, but the whole story ends up with just one painting, like a moment in time. Or a photograph. No, it's a painting, since it's a mental image, right? It's not a representation of what's happening in real life. Thanks for sharing. Before I dissect that, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Dissect? I mean, it is a bit critical of society. Banana Waffle Monkey just found 2 Exalted Orbs in Path of Exile within the same Legion encounter. Bloody ashes! That is a lot of currency. To put in perspective to anyone who doesn't play Path of Exile, I played for 3 weeks, 4 weeks? 3 weeks, a little above 3 weeks. Every day, 4-ish hours, not quite 4 hours, but 3-4 hours every day. Found 2 Exalted on those 3 weeks, and now he just found 2 right next to each other. Right next to each other. I like that there's new music in this DLC. The Xenia DLC. New music. The new Semyon. A lot of new stuff. That is quite interesting. Alright, Banana Waffle Monkey dissects his own story here, so let's see what he says. You have a guy who realized he's messed up, and so he ruins his life. Ruins. Ruins usually is usually used for... Usually used? Isn't ruins something you're still alive, but he's burning himself to death, right? Oh! Fuck, that's what I didn't get. A guy who's been trained to throw money at the problems. Yeah, that's the throwing of the quarters, the thing, yeah, right? He's trying to solve the... Oh, this is a problem, let's throw money at it. But this problem can't be fixed with money, yeah. A group of people who went to school but don't know how to apply what they've learned. Yep, and figure out... And the figure of authority is supposed to be bringing order to the place. He's apathetic, and he doesn't care. He just wants to fill his car and go on his way, go on with his day. Yeah. I also missed a bit of the guy and that he realized that he messed up, so he ruins his life. Also, does that really happen that way? Like, you realize that you messed up. I mean, selling your car for gas money is kind of a mess up, but still. Do you ruin your life just because you mess up? I kind of feel like when you mess up, you feel like your life has been ruined. You don't go on ahead and ruin it afterwards, right? I'm not sure though. Oh yeah, but chucking of the coins, that just went But I really like that iconography now that you explain it to me. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, the school, some parts of school, I feel, do teach application. Like, some are focused on theory and some are focused on practice. Like, we had woodwork and music and whatnot. Well, then again, like a lot of students come out from school and says, school never taught me how to do my taxes. And that is, or how to pay rent, or how to evaluate, like, purchasing a home or whatnot. Banana Waffle Monkey says it's a compromise. What is a compromise? I wonder. Alright, actually, let's get started reading here as well. Finishing the third cigarette, I stared at the gates and started to wait. I don't even need a clock. There's an unfailing internal chronometer working in my head. He's been here so many times that he knows what's gonna happen, yeah? Now it's just a bit longer. One of the doors squeaked disgustingly and opened up a bit, and from behind it peeked out a girl in a pioneer uniform who looked around and noticed me. Walking closer, she sniffed the heavy hot air and seemed to be a bit surprised, but immediately smiled and spoke. Banana Waffle Monkey continues, a lot of schools do have financial math classes that go over that type of stuff, but people don't pay attention. Well, some people do, some people don't, right? The issue isn't that it isn't being taught, at least where I'm from. It is that it isn't being taught well. I mean, that is always the case. I heard this argument that our school system is 50 years older than it's supposed to be. Like, so many teachers were students themselves. So they went to school, they learned how the school should work, and then they go to like uni and study to become a teacher, and then they come out to schools and like both they have their own things from when they were kids and went in school. Both that becomes an issue. Also, since schools are continuous, right? The same people, like, they build norms that die hard. So school is super slow to catch up with the times. And that's part of how, like, a problem with school, I suppose. Like, there's a lot of knowledge of how to make schools better, but it's difficult. Societal change, intentional change for the better is difficult. Like, for you, for example, you've started doing financial math classes that go over that type of stuff. When I went to school, I didn't. I'm not sure how it is for kids nowadays. Probably some stuff, but it's not only the math, right? Dealing with bureaucracy. How do you know what to look for? Like, if someone shows you an apartment, you go to an apartment showing and you're gonna move in there, what do you look for? Do we teach that in schools? Like, life hacks, life skills. It's also difficult to show that in without practical examples. Like it becomes a theoretical thing, right? Yeah, it does become theoretical. Because you can't go around to 100 different apartments with kids and just say, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Example, apartments, you can't really show them that, which means you have to show with pictures and videos. And just the theoretical knowledge of it. And kids not paying attention. I don't know if it's even should be in the education system to do that, to teach those things. Part of me want to go towards a more like having the schools be more theoretical, and you can just learn how to learn, so to speak. And instead of like, if you're gonna learn to weld, you don't have to learn that at a school. We could like apprenticeships, like the more practical aspects of life could be. You wouldn't need to go to the actual building, the school building, but it could be organized by the school, or by a school. Maybe the two schools are different. Maybe there's different institutions, but they can like fix places for you to learn. Like put the responsibility at where people do welding to teach people how to weld, right? In real life situations, so to speak. The capitalists don't want that. Because, well, that's time wasted that we don't get paid for. Well, sure you do. Just like schools get paid. I don't know. It's just me spitballing. Brainstorming. Trademark, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Yeah. Schools can develop, and there are many different hypotheses of how to do stuff. And there are always improvements. That's why I like university, because in university it's all the responsibility, well, not all, but most of the responsibility is with the student. Becomes so much easier as an adult. Studying as an adult becomes so much easier because it's like, yeah, we're doing this and this and this book, and we do have lectures. If you like, you can come to the lectures. If you don't like lectures, don't come to them. Just read the book, make this exam. How you finish, how you learn what you need to learn is all up to you. I like that. Doing stuff one's own way. He smiled and spoke. "Hi, you must be the new..." "Go yourself," I shouted, and got up and went to the camp, ignoring her. Go yourself? It was hilarious once, then it was fun. Now it's just a habit. Oh, just shocking her. Foolish but obsessive habit. Like putting different things in different pockets. The cat girl? He knows what's up, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Oh no, this is... No. I'm not sure if this Semyon we're playing with right now, if he knows about the cat girl. We're not sure about that. The cat girl was super rare, right? That is the ending we got before, like the true ending. One of the true endings with the cat girl. Now we're back. And I don't know if this takes place after our real Semyon ended, or maybe it's just another story in the multi-Semyon verse. Like, maybe it is... I'm thinking that maybe it's a bit about Like the creepy Semyon dude, or like the evil Semyon, or whatever. Torturer that has gone a little bit mental. I'm having that idea. Maybe it's earlier before he went completely mental. I don't know. I'm hypothesizing. We just started, right? We know that he is aware of what's going on, and he's been through this plenty of times. He knows everything that will happen, right? But we'll see, we'll see. I, for example, can't carry a phone in my right pocket because, hell if I know why. And this is the same deal. Insulting a girl in the morning is a good start to the day. I met another pioneer girl on the way. To be more precise, she tried to hit me on the back, but I jumped away in time and glared at her in a way that seemed to make the poor girl suddenly come up with a more urgent thing to do. It's quite interesting that he doesn't give them names. He just gives them poor girl and pioneer girls. He doesn't name them by name, but he has been through this. Is he dehumanizing them, perhaps? Probably. No, but the camp leader's hut was drowning in a storm of lilacs. Can it just drown already, damn it? The loud slam of the door distracted the occupant from reading some book. No, I really never wondered what the camp leader reads. Oh? Without undressing, I hopped onto the bed and threw my feet in their winter boots on the backboard. What do you think you're doing? And for that matter, who are you? The camp leader asked, genuinely resentful. Yep, here we go. Pioneer with the red text. It is that dude. Shut your mouth, woman, I said lazily. She was petrified, unable to say a word. It's always like this, every damn time. Better yet, tell me, why have you still not found yourself a man? How old are you? 25, late 20s? You should understand the way the world works at this age. For a moment, heavy silence hung in the room. You don't know? Then I'll tell you. Who the hell would want someone like you? Oof. Oof. Punch right in the stomach. Damn, he's been talking to my mom, says Banana Wolf Monkey. Maybe not that last part. Yeah, maybe not this part, but why have you not found yourself a woman? How old are you? 25, late 20s. You should understand how the way the world works at this age. Well, I mean, does your mom say that to you? Just turn it back. Yeah, and who taught me about the world? Right? It's always the parents' fault. Like, if she treats you like shit, then, hey, yeah, that's your responsibility, not mine. It was you who raised me. No. Maybe not do that. That seems like it would be a terrible time. It's just my view. I would never say that to my mother, I don't think. On the other hand, my mother would not say this to me. I don't think. The camp leader's house resounded with a loud laugh, or even something more like a hoarse neigh, while a familiar melody rang outside. A couple of times I'd tried to find out where the supper music was coming from, so instead of it, the speakers would play something more or less cheery throughout the camp. I didn't though. Looks like this angelic singing needs neither a player nor wires or electricity. hell with it then. For example, right now, I wouldn't be against the whole camp hearing me laugh. Laugh. But at whom? Not at myself, no. I'm just laughing because laughter is a wonderful defense mechanism and a way to allay the boredom. How much does a minute of laughter give you? 5 minutes of life? Well, it's of no use to me. I'm de facto immortal. I just need a notarial certification. How dare you talk this way to your elder? Ah, look, she doesn't have a name either. She's just a camp leader now. Ah, here we go. He addresses her with a name, though. Olga, dear. Change the track already, will you? Honestly, I'm sick of listening to the same thing time and time again. Let's try it this way. Hello, how are you doing? See, it's not that difficult, okay? Your turn now. What? Not what, it's hello, how are you doing? And I'll reply, thanks, bad as always, and maybe I'll even add, thanks to your prayers. Get out of here, I'll call the police. How, with Pigeon Express? The phone isn't working. Yes, but the camp leader faltered. Although I reached into my pocket, the left one, and took out my mobile and threw it to her. Here, try this, try it. The camp leader caught the phone, jumped around several times in her hands and almost fell to the floor. What is this? A phone, I gave a short answer and closed my eyes. That thing, you know. Ting-a-ling-ling. The telephone began to ring. Are you sick in the head? The camp leader seemed to have finally started to come to her senses. What about you? I don't know what's happening here. Have you seen the film Groundhog Day? You haven't. Well, anyway, if that library of yours had some books on psychiatry, I would have been able to answer the question about my psychiatric condition with more certainty. That's why, for now, I'm only ready to tell you as an amateur. Yes, Olga dear, I am sick. And again, the loud devilish laugh. The camp leader was stunned and released the phone from her hand. It fell on the edge of the bed and bounced towards me. I picked up the cell phone at once and put it in my pocket. But not in love with you, I added, opening one eye. Someone shyly knocked at the door, then it opened and a pioneer girl appeared on the doorstep. Oh, goddammit. I theatrically jumped off the bed. And where's the shopper? Forgotten at home? The girl looked at the camp leader in confusion. This is, she started, then sighed and sank heavily onto the opposite bed. Actually, I knew that the camp leader isn't afraid of me. The fear is simply not included in her program. She can be resentful, yeah, as much as you want. Imitate fright, most assuredly. But a couple of minutes will pass and she'll withdraw, leaving me be. Camp leader, my foot. If I was in her shoes. This must be a bad time, the girl shyly prattled, casting her eyes down and preparing to leave. Why, don't be shy, I exclaimed, hospitably gesturing to a place near me. Sit down now, make yourself at home. No, Sit down, I said. I barked. Now this girl can certainly display a genuine fright, fear, and even terror. She slowly approached and sat on my bed, clinging to the backboard. So, got anything nice to tell me? I, the same as any other kid, was taught by my parents since childhood that I shouldn't open the door to strangers. And also that I would be better off not knowing who knows where when called by who knows who. Wait, what? And also that I would be better off not going who knows where when called by who knows who. Alright? That was in childhood. Now, literally everything depends on whether or not I trust a stranger. Did we switch again? It seems like a whole life has gone by already, and I had time to get old, mentally, if not physically. And I forgot what winter is. Snow, cold, the evening darkness, the wind that chills to the bone, and eternal muddy slush. Same goes for the city. Not stopping for a minute, always running somewhere and fumigating the dirty sky and people with its lines of rotten chimneys and car exhaust. I stayed in the distant past, like the faded pages of an old photo album that has been thrown into a storeroom as unnecessary. Hey, said Zhenya. The voice of a girl sitting nearby distracted me from these thoughts. You hung up again, still thinking about that? About what? Said Semyon. She meant no offense, and I just asked again for the sake of it. I already knew the answer. You know, we were sitting on the library's roof, our legs dangling over the edge. Yeah, now we just suddenly switched to another Semyon, right? Zhenya leaned back a bit, her beautiful hair fluttering in the wind. The bright sun was shining in our eyes, making us squint, but it wasn't blinding, more like velvety warm, and seemed to envelop your whole body in the pleasant heat of a sunny day. No, I mean, I don't know, I guess. Lately, I can't always say what I'm thinking about. Just a mush of thoughts in my head. I've had that. It's just a mush of thoughts, right? There's no words, there's no just thoughts just flying past. Not really meaning anything, just a mush of thoughts. I like that wording. Yeah, I did like that wording. Colgate Tinotap shows up. Oh, good morning to you. How are you today, Colgate Tinotap? Same Semyon, different time. Also, it's before the name became red. So he had the Zhenya ending. It's where he learned about what was happening, perhaps. I fell silent for a moment and looked at Zhenya. She looked like she was uninterested, not only in our conversation, but in everything happening around her in general. As if this girl was okay with everything. The summer, the sun, the pleasant wind, our youth. As if this is enough for her to be happy and the rest of us are just foolish trivialities. In short, you get what I'm saying, why do you even ask? Because it's human. Because a human is a social creature. It's supposed to communicate with others like it. Well, supposed to is a bit harsh, I suppose. But we are a social creature. We feel all tingly inside and good inside from communication with the others. She grinned almost unnoticeably. Yeah, right, look who's talking. Wait here, I'll go get the award for the most communicative pioneer of the year since 1980 whatever. What about me? I, unlike some people, have quite specific responsibilities in this camp. I'm a respected member of our collective. Irreplaceable even. In a sense, in a contrast to you. Zhenya's eye sparkled as she grinned mockingly. Responsibilities, yeah, sure. I covered my eyes with my palm and leaned back. Seriously, can you hear yourself? Responsibilities, collective. Hey, Zhenya said sternly and poked my belly. Ooh, I moaned, mostly theatrically, and cast a wrathful glance in her direction. What if I fell down, hurt myself, huh? That would be highly regrettable. There isn't even any place to get life insurance here. Yeah, and there would be no one to pay the reimbursement to afterwards. Well, no one is. I rubbed the back of my head, smiled dumbly and said, What about you? Me? Zhenya thought for a second. Well, maybe. I thought I don't think the canteen accepts dollars, euro, credit cards, or at the very least Russian rubles. And there's probably no currency exchange here either. And even if there was, who knows how the exchange rate is doing? I don't want to suffer from the inflation, you know. How old is the euro? Look, I gotta know. Was that like a thing? Euro age. History of the euro. The euro came into existence on the 1st of January 1999. Although it has been a goal of the European Union since the 1960s. So she knows, right? How does she know about euros? Where is she from? How is she self-aware? And if she is self-aware, how did he become how he was from a different... So many questions. Demand they pay you in gold. Gold, my ass! She threw herself on me, trying to either tickle me, squeeze me, beat me down, or all of the above. No, wait, the women were part of Semyon, right? So she is him, so all of them, are the creations of his imagination, right? And they're all part of his dream, so he decides what they know. So he decides that she knows. There we go. So that was a flashback to his history. And now we're back to the present time of this story, right? So the flashing red is a flashback before he went all cruel and stuff, I guess. It feels a little bit like Westworld, right? It's a bit like Westworld. Leaving the camp leader's cabin, I was chuckling. I probably shouldn't have expected anything from the conversation with this pioneer girl. And I didn't. Why would I? It's all been known for a long time now. I'm able to play this piece on my own, like a miserable one-man show. What an irony. A play with one actor, in a theater with one spectator, in a city with one citizen, in a universe with one living being. Or living in quotation marks, maybe living in italics. What kind of obituary would you prefer? With a scroll work or without? With capitals or without? What font would you like? Should the paper be glossy or matte? Oh, hello, Kish. Nice to see you again. How are you today? Be mindful. I have a lot of papers around. Try to not burn them down, please. Again. Down the road was skipping a jolly little girl. Should I maybe start with her this time around? I remember there being splendid meat hooks in the canteen. Yep, he's been cruel. He's become a murderer. Samontolov. Oh, hello. Haven't seen you before, I don't think. I don't recognize the name. Nice to meet you. So do you think the whole camp exists only in his head? Well, yes. Well, not in the Semyon, right? Not the Semyon that's telling the story, not the I that we're talking about right now. But the ending from the other game really suggested, like, when our Semyon from that time got out and met the other Semyon, like the god or whatever. The god of this everlasting summer or whatnot. That god said we are the same, right? That this eye is a fragment of the god Semyon or whatever, and so the whole camp exists in the god Semyon's head. But Semyon is a fragment of that god, as well as all of these people are a fragment of that god, if that makes sense. Samontulov. Prime Semyon. Yes, thank you, Colgate in on tap. Prime Semyon. They are all fragments of Prime Semyon's imagination, his dream, or whatever. Banana Waffle Monkey says, put him out. Talking about that fire. We don't want to burn the house down, right? Yeah, so the whole camp exists in the, maybe not head, but the mind, the imagination, the dream of Prime Semyon. Right? That was the Julia ending, right? Because then what we ended with the Julia ending was a Semyon that was merged with, well, our pick of the litter, right? Any of the women, we could merge with any of them, becoming one, not really split personality, but one person with two personalities within. Samantha Love says, what about meeting girls he loved here in real life? Well, that real life that you're talking about is still a figment of the imagination of the prime Semyon, or the Uber Semyon, as Banana Waffle Monkey calls it. Right, that reality is also created. That's not real life. Right? Prime Semyon created that as well. That is the choice that Semyon got, right? He got to choose his all ending. And meeting the girls he loved in the real life is the choice that the Semyon did. So he met the girl in the real life and they became, like, I'm guessing that, yeah, they became like a partnership. They got married and whatnot, probably, I'm guessing. That is what it seemed like, right? He picked those girls from Prime Semyon's imagination and they lived together happily ever after. In the real life. Or in the Julia ending, then, he actually merged with his favorite girl. Instead of like it's the where you love someone, you know, they talk to become one. But in that ending, quite literally, the two became one. Quite literally. While in the other endings, two became one figuratively. Or in the bad endings, he didn't pick any of the girls, I guess. If that makes sense. Someone to love. That's the way I'm viewing it anyways. I mean, we have to assume that the prime Semyon was real, right? And what happened in the bus, asks someone to love. Like the way I'm looking at it, look at it like a religious story, right? We have Prime Semyon, who is the god. Maybe he is all alone, like this Semyon here is all alone, right? So he fragments his own, like whatever he is, into all of this, and separates all of these characters from each other. But he takes his own, like his main personality is the Semyon, right? All of these are just his creations. Yeah, he creates them. There we go. He creates this for his own amusement, whatnot. But then, because the Semyon is a fragment of him, that fragment, he lets it do whatever it wants. So this camp that he's created, the camp is a test. It is a test for each of his fragments, where they then get to choose their own ending, their own full life, right? So the bus is the ending of the everlasting, the camp test, right? The bus is the ending when they move back to the real reality. I'm guessing that the fragment is actually created on the fragment. It's fake memories, right? The real reality didn't really exist for these Semyons. It's just memories that they have when they wake up. Show them their personality. It's like it's just filling in. Smontolov says, no, I mean the opposite. Oh, when they come to the camp. Yeah, and that's my point then, that the Semyon is actually created when he wakes up in the camp. What happened before is just backstory for the Semyon in the story, right? It's just backstory. It's not real. It is, however, well, it is real because it becomes created after the testing is over. If that makes sense. Amount of love. I remember there being splendid meat hooks in the canteen. Or shouldn't I? And who are you? She blurted out, coming up to me. I am the terror that flaps in the night. Ooh. This pioneer. I demonstratively spread my arms and loomed over her. That's not scary at all. Not scary? Well, it'll do for now, I grinned and went forward. Hey! Her shout followed me. Wait! The girl caught up to me and grabbed my hand. Don't touch me. I cried with disgust and forcefully jerked my hand so the younger pioneer flew off the road and fell into the bushes. Ouch, that hurt. She started to cry. Strange. Now this is really strange. I don't think something like this has ever happened before. Of course, this day has repeated itself so many times already that it's impossible to count. And the point is really not if the girl flying into the bushes. It's that there shouldn't be anything new. Banana Waffle Monkey says, right, she's the one who wanted to scare people at the campfire. Yes, she is indeed. And they told she wanted to scare Semyon with scary stories as well. Even such an insignificant, as one might think, occurrence may in the end turn out to be more important than all the previous times. Yeah. This Semyon is a little bit of a scientist regarding, like, compared to the other one. This Semyon is trying to, like, oh, this is new, I've got to see where this goes. On the other hand, our Semyon would probably get there as well in the end. Oh, hello, Fucha. Nice to see you again. Frutia shows up and says, "Hi, Cider. How are you doing today?" We are doing the final ending here, the Zhenya ending we have started just recently. Than the first time. I don't know why, I just feel that it's simply been too long since anything new happened. Yeah. It's been through this thousands and thousands of times, it seems. No fire detected. You're clear, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Oh, thank you, Banana Waffle Monkey. Making sure we don't burn, that we all burn. I'm guessing this Semyon is gonna make a lot of stuff burn, though. Why did you disappoint this little red girl? Me? I mean, I wouldn't equate myself to this Semyon. I distance myself from him. He's gone mad, right? He's a sadist. Yeah, she's crying. I threw her into the bushes because she touched me. Yuck. Crazy, and it's not a little girl, it's just an automaton. She's not real. She's just a robot. Of course, this world isn't comparable to a monotone mechanism that does its work soullessly. Yeah. But all the variations of the scripts are familiar to me. Monster, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Yes, she is a monster. She's not real. She's not a real human being. I'm the only human being, and I'll do whatever I want with them. When I say all, I mean all. He has been through all, he thinks. A couple of minutes ago, into the camp leader's house... Wait. A couple of minutes ago, into the camp leader's house could have come not that shy pioneer, but the girl who met me at the camp gates, and I would be ready. Oh, so it does variate, not all depending on him. There are variations that just happens. Or the arrogant pioneer girl that greets strangers with a thump on the back, and I would be ready. Or even this little crybaby, and I would still be ready. But now, at this very moment, something is happening that I'm not ready for. Yeah, it seems like this Juliana is the one that shows up in the harem ending, right? Because that Juliana said that her Semyon was a monster. So she is becoming self-aware right here, right now. I'm guessing. But now, at this very moment, something is happening that I'm not ready for. And above all, I'm not ready for surprises. The girl continued to cry, looking at me with the eyes full of anger and resentment. It's all your fault. Come on, what are you crying for? I walked up to her hesitatingly and reached out my hand. For a second the girl made a puzzled face, but then grabbed me and got to her feet with a jerk. Felt ashamed, did you? That's the point. Can't bully the little ones. Colgate Inotap says, or maybe this is the one who shows up in Masha ending. But the makeup hides zombiness. Maybe, I'm quite curious. Has this Semyon been through the Masha endings? I mean, I'm thinking that it could be the one that shows up in the Masha ending, but she becomes a zombie after this Semyon creates her into a zombie. Like, he was talking about meat hooks after all, and zombie Uliana her face was ripped apart. Ashamed? I repeated, my thoughts far from here. Why, because of you. Why would I be? But you should. She frowned and ran towards the camp leader's house. To complain, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. For the first time in a long time, long time, something like this has happened. Just a couple of minutes ago, I could say with certainty what each of the pioneers is occupied with at this particular moment. And what now? Wait, why didn't he follow and see what happened? At dinner, the camp leader approached me. That turned out awkward, she began as she gathered her thoughts. Your parents called me and... But you could have behaved more properly, at least introduce yourself for a start, she said as her expression changed. But that's nothing, we will make a model pioneer of you. Before, I would have told her in detail about both the pioneers and the modeling. But right now, I just had no desire to talk, neither with her nor with anyone else. Alright then, for a start, you should meet your comrades. The camp leader waved her hand, inviting someone to the table, and two girls approached us. Well, enjoy your meal, I have more things to do, he said uncertainly, and left the pioneers alone with me. Hi, you're new, right? Do you like music? Join our music club. It's only me there right now. But with you there will be the two of us. It will be fun, don't you think? I didn't look at her and continued to eat intently. Leave him alone, don't you see he's kind of a lame brain? Said the pioneer girl. Said Xenia. If the first girl was a bit dumb, the second one I would compare to that grumpy cat from the internet. Oh, is the grumpy cat that old a meme? Holy shit, I'm old. How about... I've never actually done this before, I just never crossed my mind. Well, if I don't know the future events now, then why don't I give it a try? I silently got up, took the compote glass and poured it over the second pioneer's head. Bon appetit! I summed up this act of vandalism with a stony voice and headed to the exit of the canteen. The girl cried, squealed, wheezed, and even moaned somewhat hoarsely, but didn't try to stop me. That's actually a good point. He claims that he has seen everything. But like he can do so many variations of his behavior, right? He can try. There's endless things to try. Different things to try. So just claiming that he has seen everything doesn't make any sense. Since there are infinite possibilities. Right now, I most wanted to be in some other place. To look at the world from the outside, to observe the suffering of others from the height of my experience. But starting today, those places are no more. At the doors I bumped into that first girl who I met at the gates. Tried to go around her, but received a biting slap in the face. The sound immediately rang through the canteen, its echo bouncing off the ceiling. In the space of a moment, complete silence fell. In less than a second, my hand clenched to a fist, nails digging into my palm, the skin of my knuckles stretching almost to the point of rupturing. I was going to knock this bitch out. Maybe I was late by a fraction of a second. Between us, as if out of the ground, sprang the little pioneer that I threw into the bushes, who spread her hands sideways, protecting her friends with her small body. And that was the end of that. I unclenched my fist, my willpower gone, lowered my head, squeezed past him and left the canteen. Did he really turn out to be stronger than me? Why did something like this even happen? Before, I would have... Why even would? Nothing because nothing stopped me so many times. Hitting a girl was nothing. I've done worse things. Looks like this world has changed without informing me. The rings of cigarette smoke were slowly drifting towards Genda. The pack was almost empty already, and there is nowhere else to get smokes here. I will have to wait another week. Obviously, I could go to the Autistic Brothers, take a bottle of vodka and get drunk. But what would that change? F, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Oh, the smokes. Yeah. Yeah, his reality seems to kinda suck. Right? Trying to escape reality with smokes and alcohol. I can relate. I don't do it anymore though, but I did. Not smokes, but tobacco and alcohol for like in my late teens. Decisions so complicated now and so simple then. Oh, did I start to think like a damned loser already? Is he talking about ours, I mean? No, never. Got any more? Asked the pioneer girl. Yet another pioneer girl took a seat near me. What? I asked uncomprehendingly. She pointed at the cigarette. Smoking is bad for your health. Look who's talking. She grinned. Mine's made of rubber. Wanna try it? No need. I'll take it on trust. I handed a cigarette to her and gave her a light. You did something cool today. Well, she said after the coughing stopped. Nice. And the camp leader in her hut, I heard. And at supper. At least I'm not the camp's biggest disgrace now. Yeah, sure. This is a good spot to end, I think. And we'll continue this ending tomorrow. I'm actually quite happy with this DLC. It's completely different, you know. We get to see it from this dude's point of view. Like, I'm guessing they will tone him back quite a bit, like they've already toned him back quite a bit. So I'm guessing we don't get to see the torture. But maybe we'll get to see torture, but my guess is that we won't. Maybe it's just his perspective of what happens to him in the true endings, in the Julia endings, right? Maybe we get to see what happens to him then. I'm also curious what that Genya ending was. Was it in the future? Because the past. I mean, how would she know about Euros, right? That doesn't. Another interesting mystery. But we'll continue this tomorrow.